All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Here we are for UFC 321. And today I've got Japan with me. How are you doing today, Japan?
Pretty good. Thank you, Gipper, for having me on. Big card. Get some coffee and watch some UFC tomorrow. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah, definitely, because that is something that we need to remind people of, that it's a 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time start. So it's going to be an
Which,
early card.
which kind of sucks because every Saturday night we have it all planned out. We're staying up late watching fights, and then when they have these early cards, we really don't know what to do. We're now watching baseball, basketball. We don't have fights to watch, so it kind of sucks on Saturday nights.
Yeah, yeah, it does kind of suck in a way, but and guess maybe get to bed early for once. I don't know, but
Right? Yeah.
let's start right off at the top. We've got the first fight of the night. We've got Jacqueline Amarim versus Mizuki Inu, or however you say her name. Now, with I don't really know much about Inu, but Amarin looks to be a really good grappler, really good submission artist. She's finished all of her fights by sub, I believe. And Mizuki seems to be a part-time fighter. I don't think she's fought in 2 years. She's only had one fight in like the last 5 years. So now on the feet, she's probably going to be just as good as Amarin, if not better, because Amarin's not a good striker at all. But I just can't take a part-time fighter. So my pick would be Amarin, but I don't have a bet on it. Um, I think the most obvious pick that a lot of people are taking is by sub, which is I believe a plus 100. I don't know if you have anything on this or
I can't speak on either side, so I'm gonna leave it to you. I can't speak on either one.
yes. I mean, I'm just gonna stay away. I think actually I mean if I was to take a shot on anything, I might put a sprinkle on KO at like huge money, huge like odds rather than. But I probably won't do nothing. I mean I don't trying to stay away from the fighters that I don't know as much about.
Right.
Um, and here's the second fight. We got Azat Maxim versus Mitch Raposa. And in this fight, Maxim is going to be the more dangerous striker. Mitch Raposa is going to have to get this fight to the ground to have any shot at all. And I just don't see him getting it there. I look for Maxim to stuff his takedowns and to more than likely grind out a victory by decision. I mean, I am using the over as a parlay piece also later on. I'll show that. But I like Maxim to piece him up on the feet and keep the fight standing and get the win here.
And yeah, that's correct. Mitch, though, like you said, the only way for him to path to victory would be through the ground, and Emerson's going to keep it on the feet, and that's the only way they two win, and it's going to whichever way can keep it for their favor of the fight.
And and also like going back to the over, I think the over is good on either side, even if Mitch so happens to get the upset. I mean, it's going to be through the ground, and I think it will still go longer. But
Yeah.
on to our next sloppy, big extra fatty here with
Right.
Hamdi Abdulwahab or whatever versus Tub Boy Chris Barnett. I love watching Chris Barnett fight, but dude, man, he's 39 years old. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He bailed out of his last fight because of an injury, and it looks like he's just getting bigger and bigger. Which, I mean, as you get bigger and older, then I mean, his biggest asset, even as a big guy, was his athleticism as a big guy. But I think some of that, I think that's going to be going away.
Yeah.
And
As
just,
as you're saying,
I
with
just,
age and athleticism, they don't go together. as he's going together.
Right.
So
I know. I know
he's a
how
fan
I
favorite. He's a fan
felt when I was
favorite.
at Columbia.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Chris is
Well,
a fan
what I was going
favorite.
to say
I
is,
like to watch him.
I think this is a setup fight
Yeah.
for Hamdy. I think that's what I got it down as. I think he keeps it standing, and because he's going to be the way better boxer, and even if it goes to the ground, Barnett might have some scrambles in him, but as a pure wrestler, I think Hamdy still, I believe he was an Olympic wrestler too. So I think he would be the better wrestler also. And I think got to go with Hamdy, but
Yeah.
I'm going to use him in a parlay piece, even though the odds are gross, but it was just to give out a money line parlay. So I don't know if do you have anything on this one anymore? Or?
Not really. It's just Hammy's going to be the well-rounded fighter that's in better shape. So that's where I'm leaning towards. Like you said, Barnett, he hasn't fought in the last year, 2 years, and then he's gotten hurt, and he's just not reliable to rely on. That's the only thing. And when you're putting some hard-earned money on it, you can't go on someone
Yeah,
that's not reliable.
yeah, yeah. All right. So then we got Nathaniel Wood versus Jose Delgado. Now, Nathaniel Wood definitely has the better resume. You know, he's got the more experience. He's probably going to be also the more technical striker on the feet, but Delgado big advantage is going to be his power, and I think the biggest advantage in this fight is going to be his size and his reach advantage. His reach advantage is going to be pushing like 6-7 inches, I believe, and I just think he's going to end up eventually finding the shot. I'm I'm leaning towards Delgado by KO. It's a no bet for me, but I'm definitely on the Delgado side. I don't know
I, I
if
was
you're
on I was on Delgado his last fight, and it came out good. He looked really good, so I think he continues here. But like you said, the reach is what concerns me. But like you said, I think he'll get in range to get the shot in and get the KO. But that's the only way I would lean here is his KO prop.
yeah, that sounds good actually. And then this next one we might not line up on, but I think both of our bets could come through because I'm doing or not come through, but I could get mine voided if yours comes through, I should say. And that is Walter Walker versus Louis Sutherland. I can't stand Walter Walker. I just
He,
don't think the dude's that good.
well,
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say that he hasn't shown us anything but his submission. Now he has been working on his other games of his work in his fighting. He's been working on his feet. He has worked on his wrestling, but every time he goes in there, all he's going for is a heel hook. And so I think here that Louis is going to be in the back of his mind, he's not going to let him get the heel hook. So I think Walker will be able to do enough on the feet, possibly. I'm eager to see what he has put in to see if he is going to be a UFC champion or try to go that way. He does. He has the build. He's in shape. He has the size, but it's just seeing if he can actually put it all together, and we will see on Saturday to see if he can put it all together. And that's what I want to see how he's going to look on the full 3 round fight on the ground, taking it down, and not him putting in the heel hook and getting it again. So
Yeah, I mean, the way I see this is, uh, I think Walker's gonna have to wrestle. I think. I mean, he's got a huge grappling edge, a huge submission threat edge. I think Sutherland's only path to victory is possibly a knockout because I think he will have the more power on the feet, or potentially the more power on the feet. Um, but Sutherland could also gas too, um, if it goes longer. And I know that you're on. I think I got it. I gotta find it now.
It was Walker by decision,
Let's
and
see.
that's only. And I just think he's going to do enough to get enough points. And
There,
I mean, the other way he wins is by a sub, and that's plus 100 because his first three
there
UFC
you got
fights.
Walker by decision.
And but Walker's first three UFC fights were by
Yeah,
sub
I
heel
just
hooks. So
I just don't think he's going to get a heel hook against Sutherland. I think Sutherland's size, and what I mean by size is his weight, not his height. Because I said this to someone else about his size, and they were like, "Well, he's gone against guys that were taller," and well, that's really not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the overall weight and strength
mhm.
of his lower body. I think his lower body is going to be a lot stronger than the guys that he's been able to heel hook, and I think he'll be able to get out of those,
Yeah.
or not even get in them in the first place. But what I'm going to take a stab with, and it's a total stab, and the odds aren't the best, but I'm going to put a few bucks on it. I'm going to put a few bucks on Sutherland KO only plus 110. So if Walker wins by sub or decision, I get my money back.
Oh.
If Walker wins by KO, then I lose. You know, so I don't know. It's just
I
it was
don't,
it was
I don't, I don't think he has a
it
KO
just caught my
power.
eye, and I figured
Well, it's a good play there. You have your
who
push insurance
Sutherland
with
or
it.
Walker.
Sutherland. Oh no, Walker. I don't think Walker
Yeah,
has enough KO power. So
I
you
mean,
have some push insurance right there, which I do like that play. So
yeah, yeah. So I figured. I mean, the play caught my. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna throw a couple bucks on this. You know, figure it was worth a stab. But so I got that. Let me get rid of that, and then we'll go on to the next one. Next fight, we've got Ludovic Klein. If it ever pops up, I thought I pushed it. Ludovic Klein versus Mateus Rabashi. Um, these this line is pretty close. Like I think Klein's like a minus 130 right now, and
mm,
I like him a lot. I think he's going to be the better striker. I think he's going to be a more technical striker, and I think he's going to be the better wrestler too. Or no, sorry, I think Robeshi is going to have to wrestle to have a shot in this fight, and I just don't think he's going to be able to. I think Klein's going to be able to stuff his takedowns and piece them up on the feet for 3 rounds. So I lean either a KO or a decision. Um, I do lean it to go a little bit longer, but I like Klein. I didn't play his money line, but I wouldn't be against playing it.
I've backed him
You
in the
have
past.
anything or
I don't have a play on this one, but I have backed Klein in the past, and I think he does keep it on the feet, and his takedown defense is really good. So I think he'll have enough to keep it on the feet for him.
yeah? All right. So next we got Akram Alaskarov versus Jung Wong Park. And the way I see this fight, I think Alaskarov is just a way better version of Park. I think Park is decent on the feet, and he's a decent wrestler. But Alaskarov, I think, is just better at both. So I
Hmm.
like Alaskarov a lot in this fight. I I do think Park is is good enough to go longer though. So I would lean the over on this. I would lean him by decision or maybe do a over 1.5 rounds slash money line type of parlay to get it even money if I was to wager it. I don't have any stake on any money on this fight, but I like Ellis Karov.
Right, and I Park wows me a couple UFC when they had the one in Korea. That's what caught my eye with him, and he does have a good stand up game. And then, like you said, he's good on the ground too. But both fighters here are a mirror image of each other, and I think Armand's just going to be the better fighter throughout the fight, throughout the whole fight.
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, then we're getting closer to the good ones.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
got Nasara Hakparas versus Keelan Selkilled. I believe that's how you say it. Um,
Yeah.
I think on the feet, this could be a fairly close fight on the feet. I think um, both of them are fairly good strikers. I think where Selkilled is going to separate himself is on the mat. I think he's a way better. I think he's way better on the mat, and I'm gonna go with the fighter who has more ways to win. So I like Selkilled, and I know that you have a play on this too, and I'll
Yeah.
start that while you talk about it.
So I took Sarkill on the, what did he do last time? It was like a lighting a cigarette type thing in the UFC after he won. That it was
Yeah,
just, he has a little charisma and I like it on him. He did, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he did knock out the last person he fought, which it was in nice fashion, and that's what draw me into him. And like you said, he has well ground game, and then if the fight stay standing, I think he'll get the KO. But on the money line, I got it -113, so that's where I'm at on this one.
yeah, it's a pretty good price. I like that. Okay, so we got that one. Now we got Alexander Rakic versus
Good.
Ozma Mirzakhanov. Now, this is going to be a banger of a fight. When I first did my tape study, I was like I was like all over Mirzakhanov. I was like, he's gonna knock him out. He's gonna do. And then I started doing a little bit more, and I start coming around. Now I'm kind of, I'm kind of up in the air, but I'm gonna stick with Mirzakhanov. I think I think Rakic is sometimes a little too patient, and maybe it's because the tape study I did was on a lot of his fights that he lost, where he was going against Ankalaev and freaking Yuri Prakashka, and the elite fighters. He's lost 3 or 4 in a row, but they're against the top of the division. And Mirzakhanov is undefeated from Russia. He just doesn't fight a lot, But I think Rakesh is going to be the more patient, more technical striker. But I like Mirzakhanov's pressure style, and I don't think with Mirzakhanov's pressure style, I don't know if Rakic is going to be able to control where the fight goes like I feel like he needs to. I feel like Rakic needs to control the octagon and control where the fight is going in order to be able to do his patient, tactical striking. I don't think Mirzakhanov is going to allow him to do that. And then if he tries to wrestle, I think I mean, yeah, Mirzakhanov doesn't really wrestle much or grapple much, but I kind of think it's a wash there. Maybe even a slight lean towards Mirzakhanov is the better grappler, just because he's got an OV at the end of his name. But so I'm gonna go. I'm going with Mirzakhanov on the money line. I believe he's down to like a -105. So I don't know if you got anything or.
I don't have anything, but this possibly could be the fight of the night. But it's all going to depend on how they want to go out there and bang. I hope it goes out there to be a banger. It could end in a KO too. So if the fight to end in a KO, that might be a good prop to look at too.
It could. What I'm hoping for is I'm hoping Rakic decides to trade with him rather than just be a technical striker, But that all way. If he decides to just trade with him, then it's going to be it could be fight of the night, could be. I was one look I was looking at was Mirzakhanov's and even Rakic significant strikes over. I found Rakic at like 39.5 on Bet Rivers. it was like 45.5 on DraftKings. So I was even though I was leaning towards taking Mirzakhanov, I was actually looking at Rockish significant strikes over as maybe end up using it as a parlay piece if I can get like a 20 plus or something like that, a 30 plus. You know, that was a good look too, I thought.
It is.
But
Oh man.
let me see if it's there it goes. I don't know why it's been running slow, but okay. All right, our next fight is Alexander Volkov versus Jelton Almeida. It's one of my favorite fights of the night. And I looked up to see what they weighed in at too, because I didn't watch weigh-ins. But I think Volkov put on some weight on purpose. I don't know if he really did, but he weighed in at like 261 and a half, and Jelton Almeida's weighing in at like 237. So he's coming in 25 pounds heavier, and I think he did it on purpose to try to, help himself out with some of these takedowns. I mean, this is going to be strictly grappler versus striker fight. I do think Jelton Almeida gets a takedown, maybe even two. But I think Volkov gets back up. I don't think it's the case to where he doesn't get up. Like a lot of people want to knock Volkov's grappling defense, but it's really improved a lot. It's getting better. Yes, Gane did take him down, but he also took Gane down 3 times, and so I think he's getting better in his takedown defense. I mean, he's the one heavyweight that I think has improved immensely since he's came into the UFC. I think he keeps on getting better each and every fight. I think his striking is way better than Almeida's. If it stays on the feet, it's Volkov is gonna look like a minus 400. I think if it stays on the feet, I still like him, but I'm gonna take two things that I really like. Well, one of them I really really like, and the other one I like is the over 1.5 minus 114. I like that a lot. I honestly do not think that Jelton Almeida gets a submission here, and if Volkov gets a knockout, I think it's going to be later, like in the second half of the second round or even the third round. I don't even mind taking a stab on fight goes a distance at I think it's like a plus 220 range, and then I like Volkov on the money line at a plus 160 also. I don't know if you have anything, but
I don't have anything, but I think Volkov just has a slight edge on the ground. But it's all going to just depend really which fighter takes the fight where. If it stands up and if it goes to the ground, it's just going to where does the fight go? And that's where on this fight I can't predict of who's going to have the edge of
right.
where they're going to want the fight go. So that's where I'm at on it. I don't have a play on it because I don't know who's going to have the edge of where they want the fight to go in this one. That's where I'm at on that one.
Okay. And then our next one is Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Bautista. Now the one thing I want to touch base on is these last 2 fights are basically actually the last 3 fights. We can also back up to Rakic versus Mirzakhanov, the Volkov versus Almeida, and now the Umar versus Bautista fight. I feel like all 3 of these fights are basically it's going to be title contender elimination fights. I think whoever loses all 3 of these last fights that we've talked about are going to be eliminated from a title contender, and whoever wins them. I mean, I don't necessarily think that Rakic versus Mirzakhanov will be next in line, but they will be
In the mix.
bumped up one more spot to then be next in line. You know what I'm saying? So, but on the Volkov fight and then now the Umar fight, definitely whoever wins this, I think, is next. And I mean, Umar's a minus 625 favorite. I think he's better everywhere. I think he's going to look to grapple in the first 30 seconds of this fight. And it's going to be, if Bautista gets back up, it's going to be a rinse and repeat, I think, of grappling. I just think that he's got such a huge advantage on the mat against Bautista that I like Umar a lot. I've got him in a parlay. Another play that I don't mind at all, too, that I think I wrote it down. Oh, yeah. Yeah, right here. Hang on. This is an official play, but it's like a hard lean. And it's a minus 5.5 on the point spread at a minus 135. I like that quite a bit because I couldn't decide on whether he wins by decision or submission. So I think it could go either way. So I think minus 5.5 is a pretty good look also if you want to make a play on this fight that's closer to even money. So I don't know if you have anything or.
No, I don't have anything on this one, but I think, like you said, Umar's just an all-around better fighter, and he's got to go out there and win in a very, 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 very good fashion and get back in the to get a title, another rematch with Marab. So he needs to go out there and get the finish, get his name back out there, so he can get the rematch with Marab, so we can see that good fight again.
And then our next fight, this one might be my favorite one only because I feel the most I feel really confident about like 3 to 4 different plays on this fight. And it's Verna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern. They have fought once, but it was 5 years ago, and both fighters are a little bit different now. But I think Verna's way better than she was then. I think Verna is better everywhere than Mackenzie, but she's especially better where Mackenzie is the best with her own game, and that is grappling. I think she's the better. She's by far the better wrestler, and she's just as good at submissions and jiu-jitsu as Mackenzie Dern is, and I think that's gonna, take away Mackenzie Dern's biggest asset. And the other thing that I don't like about Mackenzie is when she gets frustrated, she has a tendency to make mistakes. She has a tendency to start trying to brawl and make mistakes, and that's the only place I could see her getting caught is if she gets like down 3 rounds to none and starts getting desperate. But hopefully that doesn't happen because I also like the over. Let me pull them up. I like Jandiroba on the money line plus 130. I like plus 5.5 is probably my favorite play, minus 150. I think that's, I'm not going to say free money, but I think Jandiroba winning 2 rounds is pretty highly likely. I'm also going to be using a plus 13.5 as a parlay piece, which means she only has to win 1 round on one judge's scorecard. And then the over 4.5 at a minus 127. I think that's a really good look also. And then I'll pull up yours while you talk about it too.
Yeah, just
and then yours is Verna Jandiroba by decision plus 225.
And I think she's just gonna get enough points on the scorecards to win a couple rounds to get enough on the scorecards to beat Mackenzie Dern. Like you said, you're giving the edge to Mackenzie. I think that Jarova's better than her on the ground. Mackenzie Dern has a better stand-up game, but Verona's going to want to take it to the ground, and that's where she's going to excel and beat her at. And if the fight stays on the ground, I lean Verona over Dern. But that's where I'm at on that one. I just don't see. I mean, I am a fan of Mackenzie, but I don't. Vern has a better background on the ground all the way around. I mean, she can. I would rely on her if it
I
goes to the
think
ground.
I think people are a fan of Mackenzie for different reasons, though.
Oh, for
If
sure.
you
Looks,
know, I mean,
100% looks.
because she's attractive. I mean, it would be nice to have an attractive champion that's really good too. But usually, the way I look at it is not to sound mean or anything like that, but the but the fighter who usually isn't as attractive is usually the better fighter. Not
Right. It
always, but
doesn't go hand in
usually. I
hand
mean, and
sometimes.
and right. I mean, they just don't go like. I mean, Verna doesn't have a Adam's apple for no reason. She just plain and simple probably has more male testosterone in herself, in her or whatever you want to call it, than what Mackenzie does. And I just, I mean, I do like her takedowns also. Over 1.5 is like a minus. It's swelling up though. It's like a minus 160
Yeah.
now for Jandiroba. And then, like I told you before we started recording, for Mackenzie Dern, and that's a minus 175. I think that's a good parlay piece. I think
Very good.
I think a solid parlay when when I can get when I can get the odds on FanDuel would be Gelton Almeida one takedown. I don't know why has it been doing this on your end too, going in and
Just a little
out.
bit. Just a little bit, not much. You still there?
Man, it's been going. I don't know what.
Well,
I got to upgrade
we
my
got one
computer
more,
then.
one more fight.
So next we got shit. You know what?
We're right there.
I'm such a dummy. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh,
All right. Next one. I didn't see it there at first. Come on. I know I clicked on it. There we go. Next one we got Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. I don't think this fight is close anywhere, but that's me. I think Tom Aspinall is just he's it. I think he's getting way better on the feet. He's better on the mat. He's gonna be more tech. He's definitely the smarter, more technical fighter too. Like the first minute of the fight, he's gonna be out. So I see him getting a knockout. I know a lot of people are on um, by submission, but I'm on knockout. Come on, man, this is going back. Are you there?
yeah, I'm still here.
You just went out for like 30 seconds straight. It seemed like. But here's
I'm.
here's what
I took. Go ahead.
I got. I've got. Come on. I wonder if it's my Wi-Fi. Tom Aspinall by KO. Now I did originally get it at a minus 105, but I got it. Yes, 10 is now gone. That plus 110 is flipped to like a minus 110. But it still is even money on FanDuel at a plus 100. I checked before we started, and then I've also got rounds 1, 2, and 300. I would just go with that rather than rounds 1, 2, and 3 at only 15 more cents. Um, and if you have a book offers a boost, like I know DraftKings has a 33% boost on any method of a victory on the whole card. You could use that or whatever, like, and then your play.
Just Tom Aspinall. I think he might get it
And then you
very quick here.
can talk about it.
Yeah, I think Tom's just gonna get it done very quick in the first round. There's no need for definitely the judges don't need to use their scorecards, and I don't see it going past the second round. I think Tom Aspinall makes a statement of why he is the best and why he should fight John Jones and why he needs to stop running if this is the case. But if he doesn't run through Cyril Gane, then there was never ever supposed to be a John Jones versus Aspinall. So he needs to run through Cyril Gane so we can have that still there. And that's all I have on it.
And that's why I like the KO prop, because I think he needs to put his stamp on this fight. And I don't think beating Cyril Gane the same way that John Jones did is putting a stamp on it. You know, I mean, what's going to be more exciting? Him knocking Gane out in the first round, or him taking Gane down and getting a submission? I think a KO is way more exciting, but that's me.
And then
yeah.
And then I can just see Tommy after he does the knockout, he does his little run around the ring that he likes to do after he knocks someone out. I can just see it now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I like that. And then I'm just going to pull up real quick, just go over stuff really fast see how this works out. These are my parlays, and I'm actually going to go to full screen so that I can see it better. I've got Amdi Abdawab, whatever his name is, on the money line, Tom Aspinall on the money line, and Umar on the money line, minus 133. But the way that I played it to bring the juice down was I did Umar by sub/decision made it a minus 102. And if you want to do Aspinall inside the distance instead also, I don't mind that at all anyways, because I think he's going to knock him out anyways. So that's a minus 102. This next one might be my favorite parlay. Jandiroba plus 13.5, Aspinall minus 13.5. So that basically means Jandiroba needs to win one round on one judge's scorecard. So she could lose 30-27, 30-27, and 30-29. Or wait, sorry, it's going to be 50-45, 50-45, and then 49-46 would cover it. Yeah, I had a brain fart. It's a 5-round fight. And then Aspinall would either need a knockout or win all 5 rounds, and I think he does that. So that's a minus 102. And then my third parlay is Jandiroba and Dern over 2.5 rounds, Maxim Raposa over 1.5 rounds, Klein and Rebeshki over 1.5 rounds, plus 123. So I like that one a lot also. And then just trying to find something real quick if I can. There. And then we got my singles here. And then after this will be your singles. My singles here are Jandiroba money line plus 138, plus 5.5, minus 150. Over 4.5 rounds, minus 127. Tom Aspinall KO plus 110. And I gave it out at a minus 105, so we can go with that. And then rounds 1, 2, and 3 KO plus 115. And then I got Alexander Volkov over 1.5 rounds, minus 114. That actually might be, that Volkov over might end up becoming my second favorite wager. And then we got Japan singles, and I'll let Japan go over those.
Just Volter walk on the decision. Man, don't even try to let me butcher this guy's name on the money line. Tom Aspinall, round one KO, and Veronica, can't even say her name, by decision, 225. And that's what I
Now,
got.
the only thing I'll say on the Jandiroba one is shop around, because
Yeah.
I did check this morning and I saw a couple lines that were like plus 260 range. So just shop around if you can. But that's
Gipper likes to throw that. Gipper likes to throw that in my face that he gets to shop books and I have to drive around and use
that's
gas to get
right.
better
You
lines.
you only got the one in-house book, right?
Yes, sir.
Is
I
it,
just use FanDuel. It's just closer to me, and if I need some better lines, I just got to travel and use more gas.
which at the end of the day isn't worth it.
Right.
You know, I mean, but all right. Well, I think that's all we got today. I probably
Awesome.
held you up longer than you wanted to, anyways.
We're good.
But all right, cool. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Japan, for doing this with me, and thanks for anybody watching.
And before we get off, please hit the like and subscribe button for my boy Gripper,
Yes,
and let's get these subscribe buttons up there.
yes, definitely. Thank you, Japan. All right. Thanks, everybody. Everybody have a great day.